Alright, it's time! Another week. ZTGD Radio. This is episode number 783 for February 12th, 2024. And on the show this week we have Anthony.
I'm here.
We have the Wombat.
Yes, sir.
And we got Turds.
What up? His name is not Wombat anymore. It's Womba Trip.
Wombat Trip.
Womba Trip is what
Womba
it's been called.
Womba Trip.
Nobody watched the stream, so they don't get the joke.
I know. I was just about to say, if you guys had tuned in to us playing Helldivers 2, which we'll talk about today, I'm sure you would have gotten that joke. But yeah,
I need the
Womba
clip.
Trip is forever.
I need the clip where I orbital striked all four of us. I need that.
Yeah,
clip.
the entire
I'm working on clips.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm working on clips right now, and that is definitely one of them because that was a holy shit moment for real. And it's wild because you were like, "I told you guys to move. You died too. Like what? So what?"
Well, not only that, but you said it was an orbital strike, but it wasn't actually an orbital strike. It was that like strafe run thing.
Oh
it's
yeah,
a carpet bomb.
which
Yeah.
which has a completely different impact radius.
I don't know. I don't know if that was the funniest or when I shot Terrence carrying the explosive barrel.
Yep, I have that one too. That was hilarious because I was like, "Oh, look, you can pick these up. I got an explosive barrel," and you just slowly turned to me and fired, and it exploded. I'm like,
Or the snowball where Ryan hit me with a snowball and then I murdered him.
Yeah, and then you murdered me. Specifically murdered me. Yeah,
I was very
was-
offended by your snowball, so I figured I would just execute you in the snow.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, you have not
"Only
heard
he
of.
could do them too. Like I couldn't even pick
commiserate.
up." Oh,
Yeah, for some reason I was the only one that could do it.
No, I eventually got one.
Oh, okay.
oh, did you?
I got one, and I hit you with it. So how do you not know that I
that's
got one?
right.
I hit you right in the face after I killed Ryan. I was like, I'm gonna throw a snowball at Terrence's face now, and then I'm gonna run.
I didn't realize that. Then damn, because I just kept getting hit by Ryan. He was pegging me with them, and it never gave me the option to make one.
What was that?
I was getting nothing. Damn it! And you know what? I have a whole speech that's meticulously prepared for my Skull and Bones speak
When
today
you
to
actually
make
get
sure.
like wood and stuff,
Yep.
you can get off the
I
ship.
think we can replace that one with what he just said.
Well, we can clip it because it's been recorded.
Yeah.
I hate it here. I hate it here so
Oh,
much.
as if when I say something stupid, you aren't right there going, "Oh!"
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I mean,
He hates it here. He hates it here because he's the one that slips up the most.
That's actually really what it is. Like, it's not that, nobody else does it. It's just I'm the guy that everybody catches because I do it all the time. But that's all right. It's part of my
Well,
charm.
I
It's
mean, I
fine.
guess we could start with you, Terrence, and we can just kick off with Helldivers, because like I can't tell you
Oh.
about any of the other shit I'm playing, so I really got nothing this week. So
Dang. Okay. Well, yeah. So, like, because we all played Helldivers, so it'll cover, well, everybody except Anthony.
Well,
but he
yeah,
watched
not
it.
Anthony.
He watched it.
I did.
It's a live service game, is it not?
It
Like,
is.
right? Doesn't this count as? Okay.
yeah,
But unlike the first one, which was like a twin stick shooter, this one is a third person shooter. Like I want to say kind of like a Left 4 Dead-esque kind of thing. So I mean, we were fighting bugs, but there's like robots, automatons that you have to fight against as well. And the whole premise is basically it's Starship Troopers, the game. So we're out here fighting for Super Earth and serving up hot cups of democracy tea to these bugs. Yeah.
taste
Liberty.
my liberty.
Liberty. Yeah. It's good stuff. That's what it was. But yeah, so it's third person shooter. Like you get these stratagems which are crucial to survive in these different encounters, and you get things like rocket launchers. There's sentry guns that you can throw down. There's a supply pack where you can basically become a support unit and give other people on your team ammo. There's a team-wide resupply where you can call it out and it gives you 4 basically like packets, which gets you ammo, the stems, which is your health, and then grenades. So you can be a dick and like take all 4, but obviously if you're playing on a squad of 4 people, your team is going to hate you and will probably kill you, kind of like that. So
Kind of like I just did Terrence.
I didn't even do anything. But
Not even 5 minutes in.
not even 5 minutes. We didn't even make it. But
that's-
that was perfectly timed though, because he totally just murdered. But anyways, so yeah, there is team killing, which we found out because Jay said something, and like he like walked in front of me, and I shot him like once in the back of the head, and it damn near killed him. And we were like, oh shit, okay, well there's friendly fire. So, um, so that's the thing. But it's a lot of fun. You get different missions as you explore these planets. To like what do we have? Like, well, you have to extract once you like get ready to leave the planet, but you'll have missions like you have to fix the communications array, and you'll have to run around and find these different terminals and activate them or whatever from these different points, all the while trying to survive the onslaught of bugs or machines, which get increasingly harder. The waves that they send. But yeah, I mean,
it gets hard. Like it's not just a little bit difficult. Like it gets flat out hard.
Yeah.
Which is fun when you're playing with 4 people. It is a very, very difficult game to try to play solo. So if you're thinking about getting it because you want to play it solo, be prepared to get your ass kicked a lot or to play with randoms because.
I would say if you plan on playing by yourself, don't buy it.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair.
Like I just could not imagine playing this game by myself. Like I know you guys have played it since we played the other night, but since nobody was playing, like I ain't even bothered. But like this is a game that I'm only going to play, kind of like Left 4 Dead. It was a very good like comparison. Yeah. Like I would never play Left 4 Dead by myself, but you get me 2-3 other people, hell yeah, I'm in.
Yep. Yeah, this is definitely that type of. And I mean, there's just more fun with the more people too. And like I said, because stratagems are so important, like you're limited to how many you can carry yourself. But if you have 4 people, now you can, basically have different builds. So you can have a guy who's like got heavy weapons, or have someone that's focusing on ammo and stuff like that. So there's strategy in that too. But yeah, it's. For a game it's a budget title too. I don't think it's a $70 game. Like it's really good.
It's 50 on It's 50 on PlayStation, I think.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay. It is not perfect. It definitely has issues. We had disconnects when we were playing it. I think Ryan and Ken both like crashed.
My system crashed after the last mission.
Yeah, to the dashboard. Yeah, mine did too. And then it was having server issues this morning, and apparently they're doing maintenance at 1:00 Eastern to try to fix the server issues. But not only was it having login server issues, but it was having problems paying out rewards correctly. So it's definitely it's a live service game, so it's having its live service game problems.
Yep, that's all comes with that.
Yeah, that's all stuff that'll be fixed. But there are some fundamental things that I'm not a big fan of. I feel like the shooting is a little wobbly. Like your cursor kind of wobbles back and forth, and I know that's probably by design, but I don't care because it's hard to be precise with your shots.
So that is by design, because if you read some of the tooltips, it tells you you're supposed to stand still when you're shooting. So it's.
When are you ever going to stand still in this motherfucking video game?
That is a fair point. You're absolutely right, because like you're like always. I mean, hell, you're diving most of the time. So we didn't even talk about that. Like, but yeah, it's apparently if you stand still, that will increase. Like, it'll make your aim more accurate. But you're right.
You literally will never. You will never stand still in this game ever.
Nah. Not unless you want to die. Like,
right.
Another thing that I don't care for, and again, it's probably just the way the game works, is there are times where you can get trapped in an animation where there is literally nothing you can do about it. Like when you get swarmed by like 4 or 5 bugs and one hits you, and then before you can tap the dive button, another one hits you, and you basically just get caught in a loop.
You're stun locked.
Yeah, it's very frustrating when you're in those situations. It makes for like the penalty is not that bad because they give you like 20 re-supports or whatever.
If you're playing with 4 players, you get 5 lives per player basically.
Yeah, so you get like 20 respawns. So like there was literally only that last mission where we were playing on challenging, and it was a harder mission where only 2 of
Man.
us made it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was rough.
But
That was a tough one.
most of the time it's fine. But I could see that totally like getting frustrating when you're playing even harder levels.
Well, and it definitely it definitely better than a lot of games gives you the feeling that you are completely overwhelmed and outnumbered.
Yes.
So like it's a game that's sort of built from the ground up to induce anxiety.
Oh,
So you're constantly overwhelmed. You're constantly running out of ammunition, and they make it so that you have to manually reload every
Yep.
time, which
Man.
I think is also probably purposeful to increase the oh my god.
Yep. And then you waste bullets if you reload and your mag is not empty. Those you
Right.
don't like in some games you get those bullets back. Nah.
Right.
If your clip had 10, because in first person shooters you're used to reload. You
Right.
can't do that. in this.
motherfucker, that's why I was
Yep.
always out of ammo. I did not know that.
Yep.
I am a chronic reloader. Like after every
Yeah, you
bullet I
can't.
fire, I reload.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah,
do that in this game.
Man, fuck
Check
that.
that. Nope.
And they purposely limit the number of clips that you have too, because the whole goal is to get you to call in resupply stratagems. And again, the part of that is we didn't mention, I don't think, that when you call in a stratagem, it's not just as simple as hitting a button. Like
Oh, we didn't. Yeah.
you have to hold in the L1. So if you're playing on PlayStation, you have to hold in the L1 button. And then it's basically a dial-a-combo with the directional pad. So if you're trying to call in a resupply, the dial-a-combo might be like left, down, down, up, right. And so you have to do that motion real quick, and that puts a orb in your hand, and you throw it down, and that's where the supply will drop. But it's trying to do that when you're getting attacked by enemies is hectic as hell. And again, it's all by design. The goal, I think, is to make it feel kind of overwhelming and crushing, and it definitely feels that way, which is why it's very difficult to play with one player. It's I would not suggest it. Terrence and I were just playing with 2, and it was pretty hectic. So on medium. So I can't imagine ever trying to play on challenging again with less than 4 players. 4 coordinated players that you're on voice chat with and actually working with. So, but I'm having an absolute blast with the game. I think it's a ton of fun.
Yep. When you're in the proper scenario, this game is very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I will say, and Terrence, I think I'm probably going to switch to playing something else because we didn't get any of, or at least I didn't get any of my rewards just now. For
I didn't either.
Yeah,
it's broke.
Yeah. So
it's
I know
it's a little buggy right now.
Yeah, they're like I said, they're doing maintenance in an hour to fix that. So probably a good idea to just play something else for a while. But it does have like a battle pass. It's got just like most games, it's got a free battle pass, and then it's got a premium battle pass. It's really all though. Like I saw some people saying it was pay to win. It's a PvP game. So
PvE.
You're not PvE. That's what I meant. So like you can't. You're not paying to win. Number one, and number two, there are some weapons in the premium battle pass. But I think they said the only weapon that's in the premium battle pass that you can't get outside of it is that revolver, and that it's not that good.
Way to sell your premium battle pass.
Right. Well, the premium battle pass is mostly about like cosmetics and like that kind of stuff. And there is a store as well where you can spend super credits.
Which you can earn in the game.
But it's just vanity stuff.
Yeah. I was going to say you can earn those through the battle pass and through the free battle pass, and it is just vanity stuff. It is not working right now at all. So I was going to navigate to that menu and read off some of the stuff that's in there, but it is completely not working right now. So, yeah. So it's I'm having an absolute blast with the game, and
Same.
I haven't even fought any of the robots yet. But
Oh man,
I've been watching some video of people fighting the robots, and it seems even more intense because they're shooting back at you. So
Mhm.
because the bugs don't shoot back at you, but yeah,
It's like
that's
Terminator. Can they shoot like red lasers and their eyes turn red? It looks like you're facing off to a bunch of. Oh man, it's
that's
crazy.
cool.
Like,
Yeah.
yep, it is. It's fun. Like, oh, that game is good.
And
Yeah.
it's sort of done. What's the other game that was like? There's been several where it's like the Galactic War and everybody's contributing to the objective. There's been a bunch of games like that, but I'm trying to think of a like prominent example.
Yeah,
But
there's been a few of these like this.
but essentially everybody that's playing the game is contributing towards shared objectives, trying to liberate planets. And as you liberate planets, it closes those planets off and opens up new ones, basically. And so you're kind of expanding the what do you call it? Expanding the field of battle and closing off stuff at the same time, which is also it's kind of neat. But your contribution at the individual level is pretty small. So it's cool in the aggregate to see stuff like I logged in this morning and that Heath planet that we did a lot of
Yep.
our missions on last night was already closed.
Yep.
Or not last night, but the night before. Which is it's cool to see that sort of progression happening. But each individual match, you're moving the completion percentage by like 0.002%. So it's there's not a whole lot of base level progression to watch.
I just
But
hope that this game retains its player base, because otherwise it's going to get even slower.
yeah,
God,
no, I know.
yes.
The
Yeah.
I was pleased to see that it had a decently high player count. I think they were up to like 250 some thousand across both Steam and PlayStation in terms of concurrent players the other day.
Well,
So I hope the fact that it's a paid game will help retain some of those players, because hopefully some people will be like, well, I paid for this. It's not just something that's like free to play that I can dip at any time I want to. I'm hoping the fact that people had to pay to get in will help retain some of the players, but because
there
otherwise,
is.
again, like you said, it's going to start to get real, and I'm sure they'll change if they start to dip in player count. I'm sure they'll change the rate of progression
Oh, sure.
to make sure that it still feels good for the folks that are still playing. But yeah, I'm really digging this game.
Yeah, there's almost 120,000 people playing. They're in game right now on Steam.
So
Yeah, and
this
According to
is
their stats.
this is a very good example of something we'll talk about later. This game is doing better on Steam than it is on PlayStation, and it just goes to show you the more places you put your shit to play, the
Mhm.
better it's going to do. Like, if this game was not on Steam, PlayStation numbers are like at around 80K, which is still pretty good.
Right.
But Steam is outdoing it like at 120, 130K.
Right.
So this is the first
Yeah.
PlayStation game that's launched simultaneously on both systems, and it's outperforming on PC.
Yeah, and especially if you've got a live service game like this, where it's dependent on a player base, it just makes sense to put it as many places as you can.
Right.
Yeah, I know it's a Sony owns the IP, but I would love to see them put this on Xbox, because that just gives them more
More
of a
places.
player base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Plus my son only plays on Xbox, and his friends only play on Xbox. Really, he'll come down and play stuff on my PlayStation every now and then. But I had him play it yesterday, and he had a blast. But he can't play it with any of his friends because they all have Xbox. So he's got one friend. See, my son's got a PC that'll run it. He's got one friend that's got a PC that could run it. So I mean, he could get it on Steam, and I feel like we'll likely end up double dipping on this on Steam eventually on a sale or something. But if it was on Xbox, I guarantee you he and all his friends would be playing it because it's right up the alley of the kind of games that they like to play, sort of the squad-based PvE, work together as a team kind of games. So
Yeah, and it's all cross play. Does anybody know if it's progression? Like if you switch from PC to PlayStation or vice versa, does it carry your shit?
I have not heard about whether it's cross progression.
I'm going to say that it is, since it makes you link your PlayStation account
Well,
to
it
it even
didn't.
on PC.
Oh, maybe on PC it does, but it didn't make me link my Steam account on PlayStation. So
there is no
Okay.
cross save or cross progression according to the internet.
well, that's a shame.
Oh,
That is a shame
Huh, that
because
is a
like
shame.
if you were moving between systems, that's like the crossplay worked flawlessly. Like we didn't have any issues
Yeah.
with that.
No, yeah, when even Terrence and I were, like I said, we're literally just playing as we kicked the podcast off, and we had no lag, no latency, nothing.
Nope. And I just dropped in on him. He was already in the middle of the mission.
Right. Yeah, and if there was so the issues that we had, so it had the server issues this morning. It had the rewards issues this morning. Like I said, Ken and I both had crashes on PlayStation. Or Friday. I didn't have crashes this morning, but to be fair, I didn't play it as long today. But in terms of the actual netcode and lag, we didn't have any problems at all.
No.
And on Friday we were playing 2 folks on PlayStation 5 and 2 folks on PC. So yeah, that's pretty impressive to me.
Yeah, I mean, being less than a week old, I expect these issues, and
Right.
the fact that we've had very few of them is a good sign.
Yeah, and
Sure.
yeah, and this is the kind of so as much as generally speaking, I'm not huge on live service games. This is the type of game that makes sense as a live service game. It's not a full price game. It's co-op multiplayer. It's built basically to only be played co-op, and the stuff you can buy is all cosmetic. Like there's not really a story here. There is, but not like it's not like you're gating what was a single player game, a single player story driven game behind a live service feed. This is, it's built to just be a game where you drop in with your friends and kill a bunch of bugs. So I would like to see if live service is something that this industry is going to pivot to, at a large scale, which it certainly seems like it is. I would like to see more games like this be live service than
Absolutely.
trying to gate a story behind live service, which just doesn't ever seem to work out all that well.
No, these are the kind of games that'll work, and
Right.
To be fair, it also has to be good.
Oh yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
let's
the game
do
has
the
to be
most
good.
important thing. Like if this game was mediocre and we didn't have that much fun, we wouldn't be talking about it. But it's a fun game.
It would be Outriders if
100%. Outriders is exactly this game, except it's
Yeah.
it's actually good. It's fun to play with other people.
Right.
Or Outriders.
Outriders is fine, Terrence, but you gotta admit, you get like what I make it. I get like 12 hours in. I was like, all right, I'm done with this. Like,
Yeah.
I actually beat that. You know what? I actually played that game with Ice-T. I ran a couple of missions with Ice-T in that game.
Nice.
Good times. Yeah, on Xbox.
and that was probably the only time he played it too.
If
It might have been.
if he was playing this game, he'd change his name to Liberty.
He was.
I mean, he might. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'm extra impressed by this game because the first one apparently was just like a top-down twin stick shooter, and I haven't played the first one.
It's good. It's just
It's kind of cool
Yeah.
that they transitioned from in such a different style from the
They
first
pulled
game.
a
to
Risk
this
of
game.
Rain.
Yeah, the first game had the stratagem stuff too, where you had to type in like that was like its hook. Was like,
Yeah, the dial a combo
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
It was good. But it felt like a downloadable like game of that era is what it felt
Right.
like.
Right. This game is so good that I actually added the first one to my Steam wish list for when it inevitably, I'm sure, goes on sale for a cheap price.
Yeah, I just bought it. It was on sale a couple weeks ago for like $5.99
Oh
for like
yeah,
the deluxe thing with all the stuff. And just talking about the player base, it still had a very strong player base even at that time, like because it was similar to this where you have to overtake worlds and it's a shared objective, and they were still pushing the front forward with, so that hopefully bodes well for this one. So
hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, this game has this is what we've talked before about games that it seems like everybody is playing all at once. Like POW World's the most recent example, but Elden Ring was one of those games where it's like you can't go on the timeline without seeing everybody playing the same game. And
mhm.
this seems like the one right now, which is good to see.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, yeah. Um So yeah, the Helldivers is good. I can't talk about the one game. I'll have a review for it this week if I can finish the game. Oh man, it's rough. Oh, I'll tell you about it later. Anyways, okay, Skull and Bones is in its open beta because it's on its way to release.
It's out
I
this
have to
week,
think.
isn't it?
Yeah, I said it's on its way to release. It's out. I think the deluxe edition is Tuesday, maybe.
It's a
Um,
quadruple A game.
Yeah, and let me tell you something about that. He's a fucking liar. Okay, I'm gonna tell you that right now. And he shouldn't have even said. I don't know why people feel the need to oversell stuff.
Wasn't that
Like,
was that
bruh,
Eve's?
Yeah, that was Eve's
yeah,
Guillemot.
Guillemot, yeah.
Guillemot.
He's a fuckface. I mean,
yeah. Look here,
what
you
do you want?
French fuck. This
Not
is not
even.
a
It's not
quadruple A
even
game.
like like with all the stories that have come out there. Like he should be a CEO who doesn't show his face a lot, and yet he'll come out and say stupid shit like quadruple A. I've heard that phrase before. It's usually put right before a game completely bombs.
Man. So listen, I don't think
What
that
was that?
this is going to. Go ahead.
What's that Jurassic Park game that Trespasser or whatever that had
Yeah,
like
Trespasser, which was built by
weird arm?
Seamus Blackley and his team, the guy who invented the Xbox.
Oh wait, I remember Trespasser.
But that's the one that has the wonky fucking arm, right?
Yes, that is the one that is
Yeah.
built entirely off of physics.
That's the type of game that gets a quadruple A sort of thing attached to it. That's what I think of when I think quadruple A. So like already Ubisoft is working at a at like a oh god, detriment to their own ability. So
Well, and it's wild because that's what, the conversation is too. Like everybody is dunking on him, rightfully so, by calling it a quadruple A game. And okay, so I've put a lot of hours in it, and I've played this over because it's about to come out now, so I don't give a fuck. I played it over some different alpha tests that they have had, and so I've kind of seen it evolve, and they've changed some things for the better. Some things narratively as well. It's kind of funny because in one test, this one cutscene, this dude is alive, but in this version, I guess he's dead. So they decided to just going to kill him, and it's something else. Anyway, it's just funny to see these different changes. But one of the things, I mean, it's been consistently the same game. So like the pirating aspect of it, you get a ship, you sail around.
You
It's
get some
all.
wood, you know.
Yes, you do. And actually, I have to say, that is one thing that has changed. You no longer come
You
off the ship to give
never,
wood.
never come
You
off the
only
ship.
come off the yeah, you only come off the ship for others, and that's really the only time you should
I
come.
mean, you
But
should share
I
you
think
should
that
share
the
your
way,
coming.
yeah, definitely. But I, but God, we're like 12 anyway. Oh, all right. So yeah, so the pirating and stuff is cool. It's primarily a PvE game. And much like Helldivers, like well, this doesn't have like a shared kind of thing like cuz it does have a cuz it's a live service game, of course. It does have a narrative in there which is essentially you're trying to become a pirate kingpin after you were working for some pirate and the boat got sank. So you're basically trying to start from the bottom and get to the top. I was gonna work some Drake in there, but I don't really like that nigga. Anyways, um, But yeah, so that's pretty much the story. So it does have PvP elements, but unlike Sea of Thieves, where as soon as you're in that game, you're at risk. In this, the PvP stuff opens up in the world, and it's kind of like not round based, but it's timer based. So like every, I don't know, hour and a half, it's I don't know what it's called because I haven't gone to it, but it'll
Do you
pop
have
up
like
on the
the
map that this
Purge?
is what you mean?
Did you ever see the movie The
Oh, I
Purge?
got you.
Like once a
I got
year,
you.
like everybody's just allowed to fucking murder everybody else?
Yes, that's it. That's a very good. That's exactly what it is. Yes, but it's only in this. You have to go to this spot, right? So it doesn't open up like server wide to where everybody just start fucking up everybody. You have to sail to this arena basically, and then you guys can start fighting there. So that's kind of nice. So for those people that were looking or hoping to see if Thieves was going to be this pirating game where you can, just go out and be a pirate, without getting fucked up by other people, Skull and Bones might be for you. But what the problem is with Skull and Bones is they charge a $70 game for a game that look like it should be on the 360 or PS3. Like the graphics are just muddy as hell up close, like from far away. Like, as I'm sure that you've seen videos and stuff, like the boats and stuff and the water effects, it looks cool. Sea of Thieves water is way better. The water effects in Sea of Thieves is just crazy. But everything far away looks good, but when you change that camera to like that first person view on your ship where you're behind your captain's eyes and you see the wheel, you can see the crew running around, like there's stuff that's cool because you can see all the different crew doing the different jobs or whatever because you're just steering, but like everything is just so muddy. Like you go to talk to different characters, like this African lady that was part of this tribe and she was all shiny and black. Like you remember back in the day when they was showing us realistic textures and skins and stuff, but everybody had like a sheen to them. Like it's like they had put on too much baby oil before they came out, like the wrestlers do. That's
That's
how
right.
she looked. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? You on an island, first of all. Why you that ain't sweat? Why you that shiny? You blinding me. Like it's just and everybody has this weird effect to them. Like it's just I don't know. For a game that they spent at this point a decade, I feel like trying to make, I feel like the rumors that everybody's been talking about for years that they had to put it out for because it was under contract from that government. I feel like that's true. Because man, but that's all negative. It looks subpar and whatever else. But the actual gameplay, the pirating of it, is pretty fun. But it's very slow to start. Like, cause I was about to write it off. Honestly, I'm like, man, I'm just sailing from here, grabbing some wood, going back here, building a new ship, upgrading my cannons, that type of thing. But then they sent me on a bounty hunt to hunt like this pirate, this basically like an elite enemy in the MMO. So I had to co-op with people. So I sailed out to the spot and saw the person, and you can like call for help at any time. You hold the button and you like shoot up a flare, and it sends out a notification. Excuse me, to everybody on the map or the server, and they can all come to wherever you are. Damn, they can all
Yeah.
sail to wherever you are
Sure.
and assist you. There we go. Um,
Is that when they come on you, or?
I didn't. Okay, first of all, so I didn't say on nobody.
Oh,
I
I'm sorry.
said
Is that when they come to you?
I hate it here so much.
I'm
Anyway,
sorry, I misquoted you. I just want to make sure I got it right.
anyway,
That's what the secret island's about. That's why they go there.
that,
It's
you
like
know what?
it's like the
That-
New York subway tunnels. You don't even know.
Oh,
oh God, Jesus.
same amount of rats.
But okay, but yeah, so the ship to ship combat is fun. So people came and helped, and we took down this pirate, and it was pretty like intense like boss fight. The nice thing is that you're kind of like, again, you're free to attack anybody, except for other people. But all the AI ships, and there's a ton of them. There's merchant ships. There's little people just fishing, and you can use your spyglass and see what kind of loot you can get from them. You get better
I don't
loot
know
if you
why, but I
board.
just imagine in my head. You remember those toys, Little People?
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
pictured them fishing just now. I just want you to know. I want you to know where my brain's at.
That's funny. It's not far off from the truth either in this, but yeah, I mean, it's a live service pirating game at the end of the day. I don't know if they're gonna if I'm gonna review it. So I guess you could kind of count this as a review in progress. I don't know, but it just I I don't think that as much fun as I'm having with the just with the ship combat and kind of sailing around and stuff, I don't think that it would be something I would play long term. I'm much more interested in Suicide Squad and Helldivers 2 live service elements and gameplay and stuff than I am Sea of Thieves, Skull and Bones. And the fact that this nigga gonna come out talking about some it's a quadruple A game. I don't know why he just shot himself straight in the dick. Sir, this is not a quadruple A game. Like, I don't know why you would ever say that. What the fuck? I just don't understand. Like, nothing about this is quadruple A. Like, he should have just kept his mouth shut, let this come out, and just ride the wave of, oh, this game is booty cheeks, and then just let it go. And then they'll drop a new Assassin's Creed that's supposed to be, what people have wanted. I think. Is it the Samurai one? Is that the next one? Like, and then they'll be
Yeah,
back
the
on
next one.
top.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
next
see, they'll
one
be
is
back on top.
Codename Red. They don't even have a
That's
title
what it
for
is.
it yet.
Well,
Yeah, it's
I
the
heard
code
that
name.
like I thought I saw this week that it was delayed to 2025. So this may
That
be
is
all they
that is
got.
true. Yeah, I saw
Oh,
that as
damn.
well.
Well, that's pretty bad. If this is all they got. He
Yeah,
definitely should have said nothing then.
they haven't said anything about when that like witchy one is coming out.
Oh yeah, well that's
yeah.
is that Black or which one was that?
I can't remember what it's called, but it's the one that's supposed to take place, I think, during the
The
Salem
witch
witch trials.
trials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that one looked cool. They do have some,
How did it
some
look
good
cool?
looking
We ain't
stuff.
even seen them.
Well, because one of those they showed like they didn't show anything. It was just like a teaser thing, like a logo or something or
Yeah, it
music.
was
I
a
don't know.
logo.
Yeah, damn, what you calling me out like I'm man, chill. Anyways, as I was saying,
Anyways.
Be prepared for a
Skull and
triple A
Bones,
game.
Skull and Bones ain't it. Like it's
Shocker.
not a quadruple A game. Yeah, I know, right?
Who'd
The
have thought
moment
a
to
game
moment
that took 10
elements are
years to
fun,
come out was not great? Shocker.
right? Right? All right. And I feel like dude should have just kept his mouth shut and let this come out and just do his thing and kept it pushing. But
All anybody fucking wanted was the easiest fucking layup ever. Hey,
you're
I
right.
really like Black Flag. Okay, and then you just basically spin Black Flag off into not Assassin's Creed piratey shit. All you needed to do, your engine was done. And that would have allowed you to then continue on with the new format of Assassin's Creed inevitably, like you did, and not have to go
Yeah.
back to it. You would have had a game that always sort of played like it. Dumb.
It don't matter.
You're right.
None of this matters.
None of this matters. Yeah, you're right. It's I don't know. Yeah. So if I review it, we'll see. But if I had to score it, and I mean, it's funny they call this open beta too, and I mean it releases in 2 days. This is the game. Like y'all ain't changing nothing in 2 days. Like this is it. And your progress carries over. So everything. I think the only thing they said is because it's locked at the brigand rank or something like that. So if you progress any past that, and that's really just like your level, so you can unlock better ships and stuff like that. It's your infamy rank. If you progress any past that, that will not carry over. So when you start the new game, you'll be like fresh at that brigand rank, basically. But like all of the resources and stuff that you get, like that stuff will carry over to you.
I swear to
in the full
Jesus,
game.
I don't know that there's ever been a time in my life that I've heard so much about a game I could not give two flying fucks about.
Well, look, the good thing is I'm done talking about it, and now because it's about to come out.
I wish
don't even have to
Ubisoft
talk
was
about
done
it
talking
again.
about it, because now I got to hear about it this week as it's coming out. Everybody's going to be like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
this is a big old pile of shit.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
It's not free to play, is it?
No, it's $70.
It should be.
Jesus.
If it was free to play, I think people would be much more forgiving. And I think that's why he tried to say that it was a quadruple. He's trying to justify the fucking $80 price tag, and you can't. It should be free to play. If this was free to play, it would be a lot better because some of that stuff that it's doing would be forgivable. But like, you don't expect this shit that this game is doing in a game that I just put $80 on. Like, what the hell? But there's a separate currency and stuff like that you gotta buy. So there's like the color sets and different sales sets and stuff. Like a lot of it you can earn in game,
To be
but
fair,
you can.
Assassin's Creed does that too.
I was just about to say that. To be fair, I know Assassin's Creed does it too, so that's just par for the course with them. But I mean, I don't know. I just this should have been free to play. I mean, obviously that rollerblade game they had didn't work out free to play. Like they should have just made this free to play. But I think, like everybody has speculated, they got to pay this government back, so they had to release this at $80.
Eve is a quadruple A asshole.
That's you ain't lying.
Indeed.
Outside of that, because I can't talk about that one or that one. That's pretty much. Oh, I played a bunch of the Steam demos. Now on the Steam Fest, and I'll quickly just run down. The Homeworld 3 demo came out, and I finally got to play that game after 20 years. Man, it was great. But you know what? I fear. Oh God, I'm so afraid. This is exactly how I'm gonna feel with Age of Mythology. I just that genre just doesn't do it for me. It was so slow. Like the resource gathering and directness. Like it looked beautiful, and it was definitely put me back in the 2000s when I was playing that Homeworld 2. But it just I don't know. I played Star Trucker demo. Now this is 100% my jam. So you basically literally are a space trucker. And so you're hauling around freight in space. Someone hit the in space button. I don't have it in front of me. Okay, nobody hit it. All right. But yeah, there we go. So but yeah, so that actually is super cool. I'm gonna look forward to it. It's supposed to come out this year. But some of these demos they end up getting pushed back because I think they were indies. But yeah, so that's supposed to come out this year. What's the other one that I played? There was Underspace, which was kind of cool. Like it's so they call it a spiritual successor to Freelancer, but it has that sandbox kind of RPG feel of Freelancer, where you're in space, similar to Everspace 2. But I guess the twist here is that instead of it being like kind of space monster or spaceships and stuff, it's like a Lovecraftian universe. So there's Cthulhu-esque type stuff, which is kind of cool. But I don't know. I'm gonna keep my eye on it, and we'll see. And I think it has a date though. I think it comes out in April. And what else did I play that I liked?
I could not, by the way, just in case anybody is planning to get it, or to download the demo. I could not get the demo to work on Steam Deck. So, buyer beware there.
That sucks.
Yeah, I couldn't even get past the menu on Deck. So, yeah, don't download it if you're planning on playing it on Steam Deck.
Hopefully that's something that they add, because I mean I feel like every game is added support for the deck, and this I feel like would be dope. Just the genre, and it has online like co-op and PvP and stuff too, like so you could play with people online, which is nice. But I don't know, I'm gonna keep my eye on it. I feel like that's probably it. I know I tried some more of those demos, but I don't remember. I can't remember what they were at this moment. So yeah, that's it.
All right. Anthony, you got anything for us?
Yeah, still playing another code. I'm still playing Pokemon Arceus. I played a game called Bilkin's Folly.
All right.
Yeah. It's actually, I gotta say, I really like the sprite animation in it. It's a puzzle game that is sort of presented from like the angle you'd expect a Zelda game to play, but it is more like a point and click adventure. Even though you control the character, like it is all puzzles. There's no combat. It's neat. Some of the puzzles are a little obtuse to the point where I'm like, okay, well, I know what this says, but I can't translate that onto the things I have in front of me right now. I'm going to keep going at it, though, and see if the puzzles become... If I was just not in the right mindset, I don't know. But it looked interesting, so I picked it up. I played... Because I was high and I needed something to just play that wasn't a puzzle or hard to play. So I started up Pac-Man World Repacked, whatever it's called.
Oh god, that remaster?
The remake, yeah.
Oh man, that is not great. Fine.
Yep, it was pretty easy. But I'm gonna say right now, I don't think the original Pac-Man World was all that great either. So
Not really.
definitely a better attempt than some of the other
What
games.
was the 360 ones that were okay?
Those were Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures.
Yeah, those were okay.
Those were the brawlers.
I own Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures on Wii U.
I mean, where it should be played.
Yeah.
I'm going to defend Pac-Man World 2 as a really good game. Pac-Man World 3 is a little weird. I've heard that there's development things, but anyways, I playing the first Pac-Man World game, I'm like, yep. This was definitely on the better end at the time, but it's like it shows its age. Yeah, that's it for me. I can't think of anything else worth talking about. So,
all right, Wombat, you got anything besides Helldivers you want to?
Yeah, so I also played a couple of Steam Fest demos. I played Dungeon Born, I think is what it's called.
Jason.
That game
how was that?
It's not very good. It reminds me of let's see. It reminds me of Slasher's Keep or Barony, where it's it's a first-person dungeon crawler roguelike where when you die you lose all of your equipment. So like if you go to the store and buy better armor and better weapons or whatever, it really only lasts you one run. The game doesn't play that well on Steam Deck. It's not really built for Steam Deck. It's fine, but I would rather play Slasher's Keep or Barony before I played this. It's kind of like those games, but more realistic, and it has a little bit more going on. Yeah, I'm not super huge on it. Maybe it's better if you're playing with a team because it does warn you before you even boot into the first mission that you should only play it if you have a team because it's hard. But it's I don't know. It's just kind of I didn't think it was that great. And then I played Rotwood, which Terrence, I think you said you played that too, right?
I did. Sorry, my mic messed up. I did play that. I forgot about that one. That I liked. That was awesome.
That's a pretty fun game. So Ken would hate Rotwood.
Yes, he would.
So it is also a roguelite but in this game you get upgrades that stick. But it's one of those games where it's like you move screen to screen, and you kill all the enemies that are on the screen. And when you kill all the enemies that are on the screen, you get to pick basically a run upgrade. And so, like for example, you'll get a choice between two upgrades, and one of them might be your movement speed is increased, and one of them might be the first heavy attack you do when you enter a room affects all of the people in the room whether it hit them or not. And then you move to the next room, and just like is it Cult of the Lamb maybe that does that? I don't remember where you moved, where it shows you on the ground. I think it's Archvale, I think, does it, where it shows you on the ground what, like a little symbol that tells you what the next room is like. So
I believe Cult of the Lamb does that too, because I believe you choose where no, sorry, Cult of the Lamb doesn't. Inscription does.
Okay. Yeah, it basically tells you.
There's a couple where where you choose what you get next, essentially,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So maybe Hades does that. I don't remember, but it like puts a little symbol on the ground that says, this next room is another one where you get to pick a run power up, or this next room is a shop or whatever. So you get to pick kind of what direction
Yeah,
you go in.
Hades does that. Hades does
The
that.
yeah uh the art style is awesome. Like it looks really great. And it looks the animations are all really good. It is also, I think, up to 4-player co-op.
It is. Yep.
Um, so I imagine it being a lot of fun playing co-op. Um, the characters are cool. Like I had a little cat guy, and you can kind of customize what they look like. It's definitely on my radar now. I added it to my wish list, and when that comes out on Steam, depending on what the price is, I'll probably end up picking it up because I had a good time with the demo. It does have a boss it's got a mini boss and then it's got an actual boss. In the demo, the actual boss is hard as balls. But just like any good rogue, the more runs you do, you level up. So you have the temporary power ups that only last for a run until you die, but then you also can upgrade your equipment and get upgraded weapons and stuff like that. So um, there's more permanent upgrades as well that help you make it farther next time around. Um, and
Did it work
then
well on the Steam Deck?
Oh yeah, played perfect on Steam Deck.
Nice.
No
Okay.
no issues at all. It's built for controller support. I didn't need to use the trackpads to move a mouse around. It worked perfect on the Steam Deck. So, um, and then outside of that, I mean, I played a little bit more. I think I mentioned last week that I was playing Dragon's Dogma because I needed a break from turn-based RPGs after Baldur's Gate. So I think I'm done with that though because I don't want to play so much of that game that it burns me out before the second one comes out. So I think I'm going to be done with the first Dragon's Dogma and just save myself so that I can go into Dragon's Dogma 2 fresh. Um, we mentioned Helldivers. I picked up the Humble Bundle right now. One of the Humble Bundles right now is um, the Mega Man collections. So it includes the Legacy Collection 1 and 2, the X Collection 1 and 2, and the Zero and ZX Collection. And then it does also have some percent off coupons. I think it's 35% off Mega Man X Dive offline and 50% off the Battle Network collection, which the Battle Network collection is $60, so that takes it down to 30. And X Dive I think is $30, so that takes it down to I think 1950.
I don't know. I can't speak for X Dive, and I know somebody will be like, really again, but like $30 for like even if you only play the Battle Network games, only one of the sides when they started going multi SKU, which is like 3. Even if you played just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, those are long RPGs. There's a ton of content. Like $30
Right.
is that's a fantastic coupon for a game that released just last year.
Right.
Isn't that collection 2 volumes?
Yes, technically, because you get 1, 2, and 3, which has again 3 has 2 copies because um, they changed engine when it came, or they modified the engine when it came to 4. So 4 actually uses like a different sprite set. So in 1, 2, and 3, they use the same sprites. So you kind of is like 2 different trilogies that
Yeah.
end.
The one that's on Humble Bundle, which is the Steam code, is both Volume 1 and Volume 2
Okay, so you're
together.
getting both of them. I got you.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're getting
so
both.
like for $30, that is a fantastic deal. Like otherwise, like yeah, if he was just like one half for $30, I would go skip it. That's too much money.
Right. Um, and then so yeah, so I tinkered around with uh those collections as well, just for fun. I already own all those on different systems. Like I think I've got the Legacy collections on 3DS. I've got all the other ones on Switch, physical. But I wanted them on Steam Deck, so for $20, I couldn't pass up all those games. So, yeah, I've been tinkering around with those. I think that's it. I'm anxious to play more Helldivers. That's the game on my list for now until some new stuff comes out.
All right. I will wrap this up. I can't talk about most of what I'm doing, but I'm gonna play a little game with those games. So let me do what I have been playing. I got my support roll up to Masters in Overwatch 2. I will not touch that game. I'm prepared for the purge. The rank reset on Tuesday. Whew.
Is this all the changes?
Yes.
The healing stuff and all that?
Everything is on Tuesday. I haven't even seen the character changes yet. Like, I haven't seen the nerfs and the buffs. But I know the role changes. I know the rank reset. I know that I got to go through 10 placement matches for each role to set my rating for the year. Yeah, I'm ready. Like, I'm not playing that game anymore. I hit Masters 5 on my support. I hit Diamond on my DPS. I don't play tank that much, so it's kind of just sitting there at Platinum. So I'm ready. And no more gold guns. So.
Wait, what?
Wait,
so,
what?
Yeah, it's so competitive points changed to 2024 competitive points, and they're now used towards jade weapons instead of gold.
So what happens to the gold ones?
If you have leftover points, they will go into a bank every year, and then you can buy the old golden guns with the leftover points. It's a very terrible system because I was only like 7 weapons away from completing the set.
Damn, and now you got to start over for jade ones, right?
Yeah,
Like,
so
they're
it's
not
like, well,
giving you-
it's actually nice for me because, like, literally the only characters left in gold guns for me were characters I don't play.
Gotcha.
Like,
Okay, so you got stuff to
literally
shoot for
characters
now.
I never touch, like Widowmaker. Don't play her, don't have a gold weapon. Echo, don't play her, don't have a gold weapon. The last gold weapon I picked up was Tracer.
Oh wow.
And, like,
Okay.
I barely ever play Tracer. So, like, I literally have every golden weapon. I'll probably have enough to buy one more after this season. And I think it's going to be Lifeweaver. Because I've just started learning him a little bit. So, yeah, my first jade weapon, it's going to be on Moira, and it's going to be that fucking wild-ass skin. I can't wait for that. That thing looks awesome.
That skin is hot. She's like my main healer.
Yeah, like
I'm thinking about it. I
like
haven't installed that
I'm
game
100% like she's the character I made it to Masters with, and I'm gonna be honest with you. When I rated Masters, it told me I was 75% better than everybody in that rank, so I probably could have got up a little higher, but I'm not gonna chance it.
yet.
I'm just gonna see what
Trying to
happens
stay
with my rank
sorry.
reset. So, I'll run through the indie games I played real quick. Eternal Blade 2, Infinity. Excuse me. Came out on, I think, the next gen consoles this week. I think I played this game before. It's it's like a action slasher kind of game. The whole time I was playing it, like on the next gen system, I was like, man, this feels like we got Stellar Blade at home. Like it's like the main character looks a lot like the same design, and like you're swinging his sword. I was like, yeah, and it's not great. So
Is it as horny as Stellar Blade?
I stopped playing like 10 minutes in, but she does have short pants on, so I don't know. I played a game called Mustache in Hell, and in general, it's just like a twin stick shooter. There's nothing special about it, except for the fact that the main character looks like what's his name, Dirk Dastardly from the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons, and his name is John Mustache.
Nice.
So that stuck out to me as being funny.
John Mustache.
Invector Rhythm Galaxy is a rhythm game where you're like flying like a spaceship. And it's actually not bad. It was weird when it booted up because it's got a logo for Warner Brothers Music, like the old ass Warner Brothers logo. It's not bad, but yeah, I don't know. Dungeonoid 2: The Awakening is literally an Arkanoid game that is a
Dungeon crawler.
That sounds awesome.
yeah, and it's like goes from like it scrolls up as you go, and then like you're trying to attack enemies while also breaking blocks. It's actually not bad. It's kind of fun.
Is that on Game Pass?
No, I don't think it's on Game Pass.
Okay. I was going to say, I'll play the shit out of that.
What else did I play that was good? Sydney Hunter and the Curse of the Mayan is a nice little 2D platformer. I actually enjoyed playing that. Jubilee reminds me a lot of Celeste. It's very much like a precision platformer where you're collecting gems. Wasn't bad. Anything else that stuck out? I checked, so that game we talked about, Terrence, for the last couple weeks, the PS1 style horror game, Cannibal Abduction. I booted it up, and like it has just got the most tanky ass tank controls. It looks like a PS1 game. I was like, yeah, maybe I don't want to play this. And then what's funny is there's another game that came out this week called Elisa Developer's Cut, which is also a PS1 style tank control game where you're like in World War II era and you're like a robot lady. It's weird. It's a weird game.
I don't understand why everybody wants to make those. Like, we had to suffer through that.
Well, I
We
mean,
had no choice.
it's the new nostalgia now. Like, we went through NES and Super Nintendo, and now it's time for PlayStation.
Fair enough. I'm okay.
It's just its time.
Yeah.
I continue to play Vampire Survivors literally every day. Like, it is a game that I just boot up and play one or two runs every day.
Deserved.
All right, the embargo
Now he
games.
understands you and Survivor IO, Ryan.
That's
what
correct.
He gets it now. He gets it.
Hey, it's a very relaxing. Like, it's the first thing I do after work. I sit down, I do a run.
Yeah.
I can almost hit 30 minutes with every character now. I'm just trying to unlock the characters now. Is what I'm kind of doing now. Like, I need to get the coffins, and then I need to buy them in the store. I think I've maxed out everything except for Curse, and I don't really want to play with Curse. Like, that doesn't sound fun to me. So, all right, the embargo games. I'm gonna say redacted, and then I'm gonna give you a description of how I feel about it. But you're not gonna know what. See, there's so many of them that I can do this. So this is fun. So redacted number 1. Holy crap! I can't believe that this is happening, and it's kind of cool. Redacted number 2. That's pretty good. Redacted number 3. Wow, that's better than I thought it was going to be. Redacted number 4. What the fuck is this trash?
Oh.
Shit. What is that?
And redacted number 5. Probably going to be a contender for my game of the year.
Wow, okay.
It's really, really good. And that's all I'm going to say. I think 2 of them I can talk about next week. 2 or 3 of them I can talk about next week, but
I hope one of them is the trash game because I'm curious.
yes, it is.
Man, me too.
It is. One of them is the game I'm like, wow, this is oof.
Oh, okay. Well,
Terrence still figured it out.
I think so. Maybe I'm thinking about release schedules, like what's coming out. Like,
Well,
I think
actually, that's a good segue. Let's talk about what's coming out this week.
so. Yeah, let's do it.
And 3 of the games I'm playing are on these lists, so pay attention. Maybe you'll figure it out too.
Man.
Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, we got Airhead, Arzette, The Jewel of Faramore, Banishers, Ghost of New Eden, Skull and Bones, the GameStop exclusive premium edition Steelbook.
Oh, thank God.
What? Wait, what?
I'm just reading what's in front of me.
Jesus Christ.
Tomb Raider 1 through 3 remastered, starring Lara Croft. That's the title of that game, by the way, which is just crazy.
You gotta take a breath before you say it.
A Little to the Left, which is a punchline of a lot of jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Gunvolt Records Psychronicle. That's the new Inti Creates game, I'm assuming. Plate Up, Small Land, Survive the Wilds, Edge of Reality, Jinso Chronicles, Senshi Sokoban Quest, and Skull and Bones. Just without the steelbook. Skull and Bones.
Just the regular.
Just a regular ass Skull and Bones. Ultros. What else we got here? Spirit Hunter Deathmark 2. Survivor Man VR The Descent. And Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 3 and 4 Deluxe Edition. So,
okay, Ultros. I thought I recognized that name. Ultros looks fucking awesome.
Dude, I've had a review code sitting in my inbox for weeks, and nobody mentioned it, so I didn't even.
I had heard about it, and I put it on the back burner for a while, like paying attention to it. Like I wasn't worried about when it was coming out. I have other things to play, right?
Yeah, that's kind of the thing right now. Is like nobody has
Ultros
the time.
Ultros is a psychedelic Metroidvania where you wake up stranded on the sarcophagus, a cosmic uterus holding an ancient demonic being. Trapped in the loop of a black hole, you will have to explore the sarcophagus and meet its inhabitants to understand the part you play.
It looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was just looking at the screenshots.
Well, if anybody feels froggy and wants to review it, I have a review code sitting in my inbox. So.
Yeah, you might want to talk to me after.
Okay, well we can talk after. What else we got? PlayStation 4, Xbox One. The only thing I see here, Lords of Exile, whatever that is. And Xbox Edge of Reality and Call of Heroes Tower Defense are the only two games that look like they weren't on next gen. Or sorry, current gen.
So Lords of Exile looks like a Castlevania game.
I mean, but is it a Castlevania game?
It is not. It is a game called Lords of Exile.
But
yeah, it looks kind of like Castlevania, like NES Castlevania, and maybe like it's got a little bit of Ninja Gaiden in it.
Wait a minute, this isn't. No, there's a game that is literally ripping Castlevania.
Simon's 2. Adventures to Transylvania or whatever.
Yeah, that's not out till like later this year, though. I think.
I'll find you the date. Let's see if Steam has it.
I think I got a press release for it this week of saying it was coming out in like late 2024, early 20. I am totally down to play that game. All right.
Well, just to be clear, it's because it looks like Castlevania and is acknowledging the fact that it is clearly inspired by.
Oh yeah, they totally ripped off Castlevania 2, 100%.
Here it is. The Transylvania Adventure of Simon Quest.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, these screenshots of Lords of Exile look good, but I'm just curious if it's going to be good. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right, Nintendo Switch. Bullion, The Curse of the Cutthroat Cattle. What else? Tenement, Dreamland Solitaire, Throne of Egypt, Biomutant is making its way to Switch finally. A lot
of people have been waiting for Biomutant on Switch.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I mean, if you want the closest thing you can get to like a Fallout sort of adventure where it's just like jingling keys in the distance, like, ooh, what's that over there?
And a narrator that is a cricket.
Yes,
90% of the games I play are, ooh, what's over there?
Then you might like Biomutant.
That's Wombat playing Helldivers. Like every time we're like, we gotta extract. He's like, ooh, what's that shiny over there?
Yeah, it totally was me and him. We were the only ones running around like, oh man, look
together. Wait, there's a weapon over here, y'all.
Right, and they're just running off.
Hey, I earned y'all some medals that way. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's true. You also earned us some deaths. So.
Well, you also blew us all up with an orbital strike.
Yeah, but mine was funny. Mine was funny.
It wasn't that funny at the time.
Oh, come on. Everybody was laughing their ass off.
We were getting mobbed by about 7 of those giant armored monsters.
Oh, God. Yeah. That was horrible. It was absolutely horrible.
That game on challenging is definite. So just so I don't think we mentioned this before, there are different difficulties, and the different difficulties have different missions associated with them. So you start, I can't remember, trivial, I think is what the first one is,
Yeah, and then it goes to easy.
and then easy, medium, hard, challenging, and we didn't get past challenging.
Hey, we survived.
There's like
We
3 or
extracted.
4 more levels beyond challenging. Like the last one is like hellish or something. I looked at that today before it went down. Like I was like, oh my god, I can't even imagine what they throw at you on that, Lord.
Before you dropped into my game this morning, Terrence, I had a side objective to blow up all the buildings at this one location, and they gave me a hell bomb. Was like one of the mission loadouts.
Oh wow.
And so I thought, oh, well, it's just a bomb, so I'll just drop it on or near the building. So it drops on one of the buildings and destroys the building. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of weird. And then I realized, no, that was just the drop pod. You got to
You gotta pick it
actually
up.
go over to it and activate it. And then it makes a giant, large explosion, which was...
That
pretty cool.
ICBM explosion was probably the most impressive thing I saw in that game.
We set off
We
set off a
that
nuke. Yeah,
That was cool.
yeah, it was cool.
All right.
Yeah, this game is good.
Nintendo Switch Meta Meet Cute. My Name is Mayo 3. They've made 3 of those games. Just throwing that out there. Banchu Tactics. There's a game just called Birth.
Wow. Okay.
Sweet.
Egg Console Ease PC 8801 MK2 SR. No, I'm not repeating that. Hexcats. Lake. Maid of the Dead. As in MAID. Maid of the Dead.
That's got to be a gross job.
Yeah, that's a horny game. Party Time 2. Pretty Girls Klondike Solitaire Plus. Yeah. Sword and Adventures. Top Web Search 23. Jesus Christ, we need a new Switch.
I think the whatever it was, Sexy Girl Solitaire. I think that is not helpful to society because it implies that anyone gives a shit when you win at solitaire.
That's true.
Because you know that's when the girls are taking their clothes off. There's no other place for them to do so, and no one responds to that. No one gives a shit. It's goddamn solitaire.
Twilight Survivors.
The good news is the folks that are buying that game are very used to playing solitaire.
Yes. They play with just one joystick. Witch's Rhythm Puzzle. Art of Glide. Caveman Ransom. Edge of Reality. Fit My Cat. Oh my god.
What
the devil?
I will not.
Right.
I bet it's probably like a fashion game for your cat. You know, like my cat's
I'm
fit.
sure that's what it is.
I don't think you're going to try to fit your cat anywhere. Scream and Steel Horror Story Shooter. Seaport Tycoon 2024. Scoutfold Bloody Pack. Your Majesty. Z-War Apocalypse Shooter. And finally, a game that matters. Mario vs. Donkey Kong is out this week. Whew. Goodness. All right. Let's do
Okay,
some news.
so I had to look it up because I was curious. After you said, like, fit my cat, it's probably a fashion thing. And I'm like, yeah, but how bad is it going to be? It isn't even that. It's a puzzle game where you're trying to put... You play Schrodinger, probably, because you're putting cats in boxes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
It doesn't say you're playing as Schrodinger, but I'd like to imagine that that's the case.
Alright, I'm going to save the big thing for last, so I'm just going to skip over Xbox news. Let's talk about Nintendo and PlayStation. The only Nintendo main news is the Legend of Zelda Orchestral Concert from Nintendo Live 2024 is now available on YouTube, so you can go watch that. The Final Fantasy VII Rebirth demo is out on PS5. Did anybody play? No.
Nope.
It says you can play the Nibelheim
Never even played the original Final Fantasy VII, so I am not going
that's
to
right.
play
Yeah,
the demo of the remake.
Yeah.
He only likes Final Fantasy 17, 16. Which one did you play? Did you like?
16 is the one that I...
16.
Mystic
Enjoy.
Quest.
And Mystic Quest.
And Mystic Quest, of course, yes.
This includes the Nibelheim flashback, and before the release of the game, they will also add a portion of the Junon region to the demo. So it's a pretty hefty demo. You do not get to carry over your progress, but you do get some items if you finish it in the final game. New PS5 beta includes improved noise cancellation, controller speaker enhancements, adjust the brightness of your PlayStation 5's console power indicator, and use pointers and emojis to interact with the host's gameplay during screen sharing. Oh boy, what an exciting update.
Yes.
Stellar Blade updates says it's on PS5 exclusively because they wanted a highly polished game on one system. It's inspired by Nier Automata, Jedi Fallen Order, God of War, and Bayonetta. Linear progression, but also semi-open world, single player with 20 to 30 costumes.
Costumes.
All of them focusing on her ass.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're just different types of thongs.
Pretty much. What was it? Wasn't there like a quote out there from this interview where the guy was like, "We spent a lot of time on her ass."
Yes.
Which is,
I believe I also saw that quote.
I believe he talks about the amount of polygons.
What? Wow. Okay.
I mean, we joke about this, but Yoko Taro says the same shit. I mean,
he also asks you to send the porn that you draw of his characters directly to him.
Yeah, so it's a thing now. Yeah.
That's a weird thing. All right.
Neil Druckmann said The Last of Us Part 3 is not Naughty Dog's next game. So.
Okay.
And Spider-Man 2 New Game Plus update is coming March 7th.
Oh, nice.
New releases, we've got Geometry Survivor, a mix between Geometry Wars and Vampire Survivors. Jesus, that sounds like a fucking baby made in heaven. Launches February 21st for everything. Valiant Hearts Coming Home. Looks like it was rated in Korea for Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch.
Valiant Hearts was pretty good. The first one was.
Yeah, this is the second. This new one is a Netflix exclusive right now, but it looks like it's coming to everything. Bears in Space. Anybody got it? Got it? Nope. Okay. Y'all are lacking with soundboard, I'm just going to say. Launches March 22nd on PC.
Space!
There you go. It took long enough. The Mobius Machine launches March 1st. Haunty is coming to Xbox Game Pass later this year. Lost Helden, which is a new hand-painted RPG from Artesian Studios. The people that made Astria Ascending is launching on everything in 2025. 502's Arcade launches February 22nd. Slime Heroes launches winter 2024. Botany Manor on April 9th. Loop Hero.
What is Slime Heroes?
I don't know.
Let me look.
Loop Hero is coming to Android and iOS on April 30th. And Inculinati
Finally
is 1.0 on February 22nd.
I'll buy a Loop Hero on my phone. That's like the perfect game to have just kind of go back to. God damn it. Taking them long enough.
So this is Slime Heroes.
Welcome to Slime Heroes. That looks like a Dragon Quest ripoff.
It also looks not good.
I mean, that's fair. Oh, Anthony's playing Vampire Survivors. My man. Delays. We got Life by You was early access delayed to June 4th, and Homeworld 3 was delayed till May 13th.
Oh, I didn't catch that delay. I'm not going to get that game. That's a shame too, because I enjoyed that.
All right, Nintendo numbers. These are always fun. The Switch has now sold 139.36 million units.
Cool.
Tears of the Kingdom is 20.28. Super Mario Bros. Wonder is 11.96. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is 60.58 million.
Jeez, oh Pete.
Pikmin 4, 3.33. Pokemon, 24.36. That's Scarlet and Violet. Animal Crossing is nearing 45 million. Super Mario RPGs, 3.1 million. And Luigi's Mansion 3, the monster that it is, 13.98 million. Honkai Star Rail has surpassed 100 million downloads. Silent Hill, The Short Message.
Good for those honkies.
Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
It's like my grandfather. Mm-hmm.
Silent Hill: A Short Message passed 1 million. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink is over 110,000 concurrent players, not 110.
Put up the Babylon Fall numbers.
Yeah, Persona 3 Reload has sold 1 million copies in its first week. It's now the fastest selling game from Atlas. That's pretty cool. Shiren the Wanderer, the Mystery Dungeon of Serpent Coil Island, sold 200,000 in its first week in Japan. City Skylines is over 1 million. Helldivers 2 surpassed 78,000, which we know that's now over like 220,000. It's also the most played PlayStation game on Steam, which was currently God of War at 73.5K. GTA 5 has now sold 195 million units worldwide.
Jeez, oh Pete.
The GTA series is over 420 million units worldwide.
Yep.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is at 61 million units, and the entire Red Dead series is at 86. Borderlands series is at 83 million. That's a lot of games.
That is a lot of games.
EVO 2024 lineup has been announced. We have Street Fighter 6, of course, Tekken 8, of course, Guilty Gear Strive, Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising, Under Night, In Birth 2, Sis Celeste, Mortal Kombat 1, King of Fighters 15, and Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. Capcom has put out a new questionnaire survey from Capcom Town, which asks what sequel do you want to see. The games included Mega Man 1 through 3, Rival Schools, Breath of Fire, and others. Hope y'all wrote in Dino Crisis, because what the fuck are we doing?
Nobody cares about Dino Crisis.
Get the fuck out of here. What else?
Where's my Mega Man Legends on that list?
I mean, nobody wants Mega Man Legends.
They're never gonna do it. I want it, but they're never gonna make it.
No. Overwatch 2 is getting a Cowboy Bebop crossover for Season 9. Which, I mean, that's fucking cool. Who's gonna get the skins? Anybody watch Cowboy Bebop?
Never watched Cowboy Bebop. No.
Who's gonna get the Spike Spiegel skin?
Probably McCree, or he's not
Yeah.
McCree.
Yeah, Cassidy.
Whatever.
You think Cassidy again?
Yeah.
What about Faye? Is it Widowmaker? I think it's Widowmaker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Faye
probably.
What about Jet? Jet's got to be Reinhardt, right? That's got to be Reinhardt.
I don't know.
Sigma
Jet
would be a good Jet.
Yeah, Ed is gonna be Tracer.
It's got to be Tracer for Ed. And does Hammond get an Iron skin? Is that what we're doing?
That would be funny. Yeah, because nobody has a dog, right?
No, I mean he's a hamster. Like Winston or Hammond has got to be Iron, and then Vicious has got to be Genji. It's got to be Genji.
Hell no, yeah, because I'm never gonna play him, man. I'm not gonna buy this anyway. But yeah, that is cool that they're doing that kind of mashup. Because I
hope the song is at least in like Route 66 or something, like on the jukebox.
Oh man, it would have to be. Yeah. Oh, they have to do that. Jeez.
All right. Ubisoft was disappointed in Assassin's Creed Nexus VR sales. Apparently, they're also going to be scaling back VR. I'm kind of feeling like VR might be dying. I don't know.
I think what's definitely dying is AAA game companies deciding that they're going to port their AAA game series to VR. I think VR is probably going to be more smaller scale games made by smaller studios.
Yeah, most likely. I mean, even Sony's not doing first party stuff for their fucking own unit.
Right.
Oh, let's see here. What else we got? Anything interesting on this? Disney has put a $1.5 billion stake into Epic Games, which makes like all of the sense in the world. If Disney wants into the metaverse, it's called Fortnite.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm really scared because they're gonna own fucking everything.
Yeah,
This is just the first goddamn step, guys.
what's irritating is if you read the thing, it's like Bob Iger saw that video games are selling well and said we need to be in there, and it's like, okay, well you were, and then you shut down all your fucking stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Like 3 times.
Right.
Yeah.
According to Insider Gaming, Call of Duty Black Ops Gulf War will have an open-world campaign and will be more like Far Cry rather than classic streamlined Call of Duty.
Okay.
I mean, that's interesting to people like me, but I don't know if people that play Call of Duty give a shit.
Holy shit, there's a whole page of news on here just about Hideo Kojima. That is wild.
Oh Lord.
His documentary is out on February 23rd on Disney Plus. Death Stranding movie.
Wait, he has a documentary
Yeah.
about like, his life?
Yeah, his documentary is coming to Disney Plus.
Bitch. All right.
There's other people involved in OD outside of Jordan Peele. He said if he told you who they were, you would be surprised by the names.
Oh yeah.
Spike Lee. Spike Lee's involved. It's a Spike Lee joint. We in there.
Spike,
Spike Lee joint.
it's
No, I
a
was
Spike Lee
thinking more
joint. It's a sequel to NBA 2K20 or whatever that was, where your dead
Don't hit the
friend's gonna
player.
come
Beat the game.
hang out with you at the park.
Yep, I remember that.
Remember, you're a white guy you're a guy who's fully Caucasian, but your family's black.
Oh yeah, every single member of your family is black.
Except for you.
All right, guys.
Are you adopted? We're not addressing that.
It's time. We're going to talk about Xbox. So
Oh goodness.
we're going to start off with positive. The new Xbox Game Pass games were announced. We have Train Sim World 4, Madden NFL 24, Resident Evil 3, A Little to the Left, Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night, Played Up, and Return to Grace.
What? Wasn't Bloodstained Ritual of the Night on Game Pass already?
Yes. In fact, they
It was,
tweeted out
yeah.
and said it's even better the second time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good. I'm glad I'm not just going crazy.
That's a good game too. I actually kickstarted that. So I already own it. But that's if you liked Symphony of the Night. Very good game.
Final Fantasy XIV Xbox Series Open Beta is slated for February 21st. What else we got? For the full version, not the beta or the free trial, requires Xbox Game Pass Core or Ultimate subscription to be played, which is weird. The FTC has filed a complaint against Microsoft after they laid off 1,900 people at Activision Blizzard, and they also laid off 86 people at Toys for Bob, but it is not closed. They just moved offices. Now, let's talk about the week that was Xbox.
Oh Lord.
What
Good
was
Lord.
that? I think it was it Sunday night or Monday afternoon that rumor dropped that, like,
It was Sunday night. It was Sunday night.
Sunday night, because we'd already talked about it, and we'd already been having conversations about Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves, and those make sense, like, okay. And then the rumor dropped that Starfield was coming to PlayStation 5. Now, what is funny is that rumor was debunked last night by the same person who leaked the rumor and saying they'll own it. It's not happening. But boy, it has been a week of meltdowns and news, and the only thing Phil Spencer has done is made a tweet and played Diablo.
Right.
Yeah. You know why? Because he's chilling, and I'm not mad at him. Because Tim, you know what? Go ahead, Anthony. Go ahead.
I was going to say, some people, I'd ask them as adults, like, how the fuck does your wife, like, live with you? But I have to assume that these people are all single and live completely alone.
No, I'm not going to name names on here, but the one person that this conversation that a lot of people have talked about this week is married and is, like, older than us.
Oh, that's
Which is old.
Okay, well, see, you're nicer than me because you don't name names. I call niggas out. Man, that's crazy. That's insane.
I have had some mental outbursts on this show. And I know when I was on Twitter, I had them. boy, did I feel a lot better about myself this
Like,
week.
I mean, I have not seen
8 hours. 8 hours in
That's just
having
one.
a mental breakdown. Yeah,
That's just one.
There was multiple.
There's,
It was
I mean, they
multiple.
haven't stopped. They're still going.
Yeah, they're still going. I stopped looking at this point, but it's insane. But this is why you do not tie the entirety of your persona to a brand or something that you can't control, because now are you going to shift with it? Like, I mean, why would you even do that from jump? But even it's a box. These are video games. We're supposed to play these to have fun, at least I thought. Like, it doesn't have to teach me a lesson. It doesn't have to show me the morality of a situation. It's nice when the medium can express that and maybe rise above and educate at the same time. But at the end of the day, we play these to have fun. What the hell are we doing?
Dude, I've seen people break their systems, sell their systems, claim that video games are over, and the only thing Phil Spencer said is that we'll have a business update next week.
Yeah, he's chilling because he's not worried about it. And I saw the dude because I saw somebody put their GameStop receipt about how much they got from selling their Xbox stuff, and I'm like, that's a weird flex. Like, is the flex to show that you got ripped off by GameStop? Because half of us work there. We know they only give you a squirrel poop and a quarter for a copy of Madden 2012 or whatever. You ain't getting dick from GameStop for real.
I'm surprised Phil wasn't emailing everybody going, what about Phil Cat? Phil Cat is saying he's gonna leave. And he's just crying. The investors are all crying. Like, what are they gonna do without some guy on the internet?
Yeah, I'm sure they're sad that he is upset.
They're breaking their console that they already paid us money for, and that once this announcement comes out, they're going to end up spending money on again.
Yeah,
right.
Essentially.
Right. Like, it's so stupid. Like, they already have your money, bruh. They don't care what you do with it at this point. Go ahead and break it. Like, what? How is that teach? Oh, it's just insane.
I don't understand the brand loyalty as a personality genre of human.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about this as it kind of unfolded. So it started with the Starfield rumor, and then every single insider on in the gaming industry had to drop their 2 cents. Like, it was Jeff Grubb said that he'd heard about Gears of War. The guy at The Verge said he'd heard about Indiana Jones. Obviously the Starfield rumors. Then somebody said Halo. And all of this stuff started happening. And what was funny was as soon as that Starfield rumor dried up and the guy said it wasn't real, everybody walked their shit back.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, actually, I didn't hear about any of this stuff. I just,
Yeah.
It seems plausible.
Yeah. Right. I heard they were having conversations. Of course they're having conversations. You don't think Sony has a conversation at some point of somebody in the office going well, if we put it on Switch, it would probably sell a shit ton. Yeah, but we don't want to do that.
Right.
Oh my God, I don't.
Man, my dude told me, well, I'm going to own the mistake. Oh, how magnanimous of you. Oh, you're such a great guy for owning that. The hell?
I mean, this has literally been a 9-day conversation about nothing. Nothing has been said. Nothing has been done.
Yep.
Nope. Other than people running around talking about the sky is falling.
And if you weren't paying attention up to this point, Phil has always said we're trying to push shit everywhere.
Yep. Yep.
And I get that he's also said exclusives are important, and I'm sure that there will be Xbox exclusives.
Mm-hmm.
The only concern that I find legitimate is you're concerned about your digital library being dissipated. If there's no more Xbox, what happens to those games that you've bought? That's a legitimate concern if this were to happen to the point where Xbox stops selling consoles. The other legitimate concern is that if they go away, does Sony go unchecked, and we're paying $700 for consoles and $150 for games. Those are the only two things that affect you. Somebody playing Indiana Jones on their PlayStation 5 6 months after it came out on Xbox does not affect you.
Right.
Oh, and as a matter of fact, it might affect you positively because if it also does well on PlayStation, it might give them more incentive to make a sequel.
Exactly. If there are more people playing Sea of Thieves, you have more people to play with.
Right.
If
That's
Hi-Fi
how
Rush
it's-
sells...
Yeah, but Ken, they're Sony people.
Yes, they are such bad people. How could you dare get to play... You know they can play it now if they just buy another system, right?
Traitorous.
Like,
Yeah.
like nobody complains if like Hi-Fi Rush is like if a PlayStation fanboy has a PC and he's already played Hi-Fi Rush. Like,
But the thing is, none of this, absolutely 0% of this, has anything to do with actually playing the games and anybody being concerned about their ability or, whatever to play the games. It's all about the fact that it's less ammunition for bullshit online stuff.
yeah,
Yep.
Like, it's like people are mad because now they can't say that Hi-Fi Rush is an exclusive and PlayStation fanboys don't get to play it and Xbox for life, Sony ponies.
And
Like
Yep.
that's what it all is. It has nothing to do with actually playing the games. Because you're right. If it had anything to do with that, people who play Sea of Thieves would be excited that it gets to go to another platform because that's more people to play with.
I mean, look at how often most of those people tweet. When are they playing games?
Well, yeah, and that's what all of this
Right.
all of this is Twitter space conversation that
Mhm.
exists specifically so that people can farm engagement on Twitter and use fanboys to rack up view counts because they pay for Twitter like idiots.
it's so
It's weird, man. It's weird.
so dumb to me, and I don't understand. Especially at this point, is like these people. Like, I don't know if you watched or listened to any of these people. They are legitimately having like mental breakdowns. I'm like, motherfucker, you don't need an Xbox. You need a therapist.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've dropped in some of them spaces and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, Terrence,
oh my
when you told me that the dude had to mute his mic in the middle of a space because he was having an actual
Yep.
crying, sobbing fit.
Yes.
It's like, man, you can't allow this stuff to be that big a part of your personality, man. Like Wu-Tang would say, diversify your bonds.
Definitely. Oh my god.
You cannot let this stuff make up that much of your personality. It just cannot. You got to have something else. And even if video games make up that much of your personality, you can't let one system make up that much of your personality. Jesus Christ.
Touch grass.
Oh,
I don't even care if you touch grass.
No, but I
Touch
mean,
a-
like,
touch
this
a
is this.
PlayStation. Touch a Switch.
Well, I mean, at this point, I don't think anything. Like, look, as someone that's had a mental breakdown and like has gone to the hospital and had to see someone about it, it was based on factors in life I could not control that were directly affecting me. Xbox going away potentially. Let's pretend that was a real thing, because I'll admit I wondered, because I'm like, well, if that's happening, not that I believed it fully, but some parts are like, well, man, if that happens, this happens. Like, I don't know how Xbox justifies its existence.
Sure. That's always
Yeah.
going to be a question.
But-
is like, if you don't have exclusives, why buy the box, right?
But
Sure.
I fail to grasp how that happening affects you. But this is the male equivalent of Taylor Swift fans. But all of them are adults. Like, Taylor Swift fans that are crazy for the most part are like young teenagers, and early 20s. This man is 40 plus, crying on Twitter, X, whatever, and it's like, you need help. Like, that is not, and I'm not even
healthy.
being I'm not even being like funny about it. Like, you need help.
Yeah,
Because
it's very actually apt that you bring up the Taylor Swift comparison, because it's all parasocial relationships.
Thank you.
It's like you are not friends with this brand.
I messaged Phil, and Phil sent me a message back.
That legitimately happened.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah,
Dude
no,
said
I
that.
know.
Yeah.
It's like, man,
But Phil
these are-
responded to you like the person you are, not the person you think you are.
yeah, these are
Right.
they're representatives of a brand, and the brand, I'm sorry, does not give a shit about you.
That's
Yes,
the thing. It's like nobody gives
in
a shit about
aggregate-
you.
In aggregate, the brand cares, because no brand in the world wants to have so much bad press that everybody hates them, right?
Sure.
So in aggregate, they care. But man, Xbox isn't paying your rent check next month. Like, they don't give a shit about you. They care about you to the extent that you put money in their pocket. And if you don't put money in their pocket, they don't care.
Exactly.
Who
So-
owns an Xbox? Who owns
So
an
what-
Xbox here?
Me.
I mean, I think
Right.
all of us do, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Which one did any of you buy one because Jim Cat on Twitter said to buy one?
I bought one. No.
Also,
Yeah.
just
That-
another.
so like, I'm just making it clear too, because like in the, and I'm actually not trying to sound mean, but I have to be a little bit blunt about this because it is a concerning problem that isn't just one person. So if you hear this and you think I'm attacking you, please take a look in the mirror. It's fine to get passionate. It's fine to have opinions.
It's fine to have a preference.
Sure.
Yeah, it's fine to have a
100%.
preference, but when you're at the level this is, you have now you think you're more important to the brand than you are. I hate to say this to influencers on the internet. Most of you are just marketing tools and nothing more. And it's not you that is selling the product, is selling itself, and you just happen to be the mannequin they drape it over.
There are like 3 influencers, quote unquote, online that are, you might call Xbox influencers, that Microsoft probably genuinely gives a shit about, what they do and say. If you're somebody on Twitter who has like 1,500 followers and Xbox in your tag, they don't care. I'm sorry, they just don't. And maybe that's harsh, but like, harsh, yeah, is kind of what you need, because they don't care.
If you can't,
I was just gonna say, it's all like let's also put a little bit of blame on Microsoft here, because Xbox has been, and we've talked about this. Xbox tax is a stupid term, but it is kind of real. Like, people treat that brand a little different than they treat the other ones. But for Microsoft to like try to make that better, they have cultivated a little bit of a buddy thing with people online.
They absolutely have. You are 100% correct. They have fed into this parasocial relationship. 100%.
And I almost, I almost guarantee you. Well, I'm also going to tell you, with the way that this week is gone, that is going to change.
Oh, sure.
I bet you they're going to take a step back
though,
from that. There's a reason why Aaron Greenberg hasn't tweeted this week.
There is a... Yes, I agree with that. But I also, just to make sure everybody realizes that, like, this would have happened if it was the other way around too.
Sure.
Remember, Sony was like, we used games, guys. Come on now, and like, who's the one that's been at the center of a couple controversies about just taking away shit, right? So it's like, all these people should always be trusted, as far as you can throw them. Because at the end of the day, it's money. It's money. That's the main thing they're worried about. They don't give a shit about anything else. If the game is good, great. If the game isn't good and still makes a ton of money, fuck it. We're gonna keep going with that. Like, for example, people get really weird about Pokemon. And don't worry, this is not going into Pal World. Like, Pokemon, those games are not built, to be the best games ever. They're built to
They're
be
not
Pokemon
built to
games,
be
though.
the best.
Yeah, I realized that's where that was going. But, like, to some extent, it's like they still sell. That's what Pokemon is. Pokemon is to sell product.
Yeah.
Like, not games. The games are just vehicles to introduce new Pokemon so that they can introduce new products behind it. I'm sorry to kind of pull back the curtain and show who the wizard actually is, but, like, it's capitalism. Like,
It's always
it's
been
always
capitalism. Like,
Always
yeah.
capitalism.
So, like,
Yeah, the pro wrestling world is exactly like this.
man.
That you have people who have preferences, and then you have people who have really scary parasocial relationships with wrestling brands, where it's like they're the stand. I don't know if anybody on here remembers, but there was when the WWE was going through some controversy a couple years ago, there was a Stand Up for WWE campaign.
oh, I remember
that WWE actively encouraged, which was basically exactly what it stands for. It was like, hey, go online to social media and stand up for WWE. And all of the worst behaviors that you would expect came out of that campaign. And it's the same kind of thing here, where it's like Xbox especially has sort of tried to cultivate this reputation as a challenger brand. And in the Xbox One days, not the Xbox One, the system, the original Xbox, it kind of was a challenger brand in that it was Microsoft's first entry, and it was, not Nintendo and not Sony who had kind of dominated the industry. But guess what? It was always fucking Microsoft, who's like the biggest company in the entire world.
The real underdog.
Yeah, they're not a challenger. They're not an underdog. They don't need you to go online and waste your life defending them. They're enormous.
It's like introducing this small indie wrestler, and then they drop the curtain and it's just The Rock behind it.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Which is great, because he was actually at the original Xbox conference.
Yes. So, like, I don't know. But you're 100% right, Ken, that Microsoft has cultivated this sort of online Microsoft defense force by trying to be friendly and buddy with people and pretending like, hey, we're just gamers like you. And I mean, even we even did it just now on this show when we're like, Phil Spencer didn't even say anything. He was playing Diablo. Like,
I mean, that is kind of funny.
It is funny, but it's also like, that's a conscious choice by an executive of that company. Like, he's not just, oh, look at Phil Spencer, he's so cute, he plays games just like the rest of us. Like, no, he's an executive of a multi-trillion-dollar company that is trying to get money from you. And yes, he also plays games, but he's not like some cute little guy that just needs everybody to defend him.
I am gonna be mean with what I'm gonna say now. Not specifically anybody, but like, when I had my mental breakdown, it was because my boss was trying to tangibly fuck with my life, like get me fired, because he had it in for me for reason of that he also had worked with my mother and didn't like her, which is a weird fucked up thing to try when I'm a totally different person. And I'm sorry, like, having your life fucked, like, there are people that are going through way worse things, and I understand that, like, suffering is not an Olympic sport. But like, if I lost all access to video games tomorrow, yeah, it would suck. My life would not end. No. This is a problem with anybody that gets obsessive. You need other hobbies. You need something else. And it can't. That hobby should not be social media because, like, I've seen where that has gone. I've been that person. It's not good.
Social media is toxic, man. It's just...
social media is toxic, but like, I'm not going to blame anybody for how I choose to respond. And so all my responses are on me. I don't really have social media like I did. But it is it's a bad place to be when you're this type of person. So like, again, in the weird case that this person, I'm not saying touch grass, that's a rude, but find another hobby and I'm not saying get rid of video games. That's also not healthy. You need to find another hobby and find real joy in something else. Because right now the joy from being attached to Xbox comes from basically being a barnacle on the Xbox brand. Because it's not like you're making games for it. You just play it and talk about them a lot to the point where it's unhealthy. So like, there's a lot of things you can kind of do to move away from that. And I hope that the people that have kind of experienced this week do that. But for some reason, I just picture them picking up a different console or choosing a different fight somewhere else. And I don't know, there's something a little bit depressing about that. As I try to better myself, I wish other people would just take the time to think about what is making them upset. Like, the world is a great example of things that that can make you upset. But actively choosing to be a consumer, you should know ahead of time that like you're gonna be upset more times than not.
Well, and this is a I feel like really, and you're making a great point about having extra hobbies, but like this weird CEO worship stuff is like, it's mostly only common among like hobbyist things, like video games. Everybody talks about, if you remember, Nintendo cultivated the same bullshit with Reggie and all that stuff, and everybody treats the Nintendo executives like their mascots. And it's like nobody's. I bank with Fifth Third. I could not tell you who the CEO of Fifth Third is. Like,
thank you.
And all my money is there, right? Like, I drive a Honda. I couldn't tell you who the CEO of Honda is. Like, I don't care, because they're an executive who produces a product that I purchase. And gaming's the same way. Like, their CEOs and stuff are more visible because we, for some reason, have decided that that's what we want to do in this industry, is make executives super visible.
Blame me for three.
Yeah, but like they still, they're sitting in boardrooms, and they're not sitting in boardrooms talking about, how do we make, X play gamer 1, 2, 3
tighten the graphics up on level
satisfied. 2. Right. Like they're trying to figure out how they can make as much money as possible. So you should view them as such.
I just hope if Phil has the opportunity to do one of the funniest things in the world this week, is when he comes out for that business meeting, he has a shirt on that has Jim Cat's name on it.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I just feel like this whole thing has sort of,
because
really
they've seen
light
this shit
on how gross.
That these executives are watching all of this online, which, going back to what this actually means, what is actually going to happen, like, when this thing happens, number one, nobody's going to be happy about it. Like, it's going to be PR speak, it's going to be, cover my ass conversation. Like, the fact that they haven't said a word other than that one tweet tells you that they have watched this whole thing this whole week and been like, okay, here's the way people are acting, here's how we need to change this going forward. We have the numbers to prove, our point to this. because your words online mean nothing.
Yep.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah, you're Mark Wahlberg in Fear. You're crazy. You're not allowed near the house anymore.
Yeah, like
saying I emailed Phil. Guess who's not going to be having that privilege much longer?
yeah, like at some
Right?
point, like you
you
just
shit
block that
yourself like a
email.
child publicly, and drag people's name through the mud. Not I'm saying name calling happened, but like the fact that if you were in contact, now it makes them look bad by juxtaposition. So like, good job.
Yeah, I just. So let's go back to off the conversation of these weirdos online. What do you think is actually happening? Like, what do you think this? Because from
I
what it
think
seems
probably
like,
the first rumor was probably the correct one, and that it's going to be Hi-Fi Rush and it's going to be Sea of Thieves.
yeah, I'm more talking about like what do you think that how are they going to deliver this? Because I think the rumor was that like this is something they've been planning for a while, but they weren't actually going to do it until March. And then somebody got a little. That's the other problem Microsoft has being buddy buddy is like this shit leaks like the fucking Titanic, man. Like Microsoft is the worst about leaks.
Yeah, even though everybody would say it's Nintendo just by the fact that everybody has a Nintendo story that this game is being made.
Sure, but Nintendo never even comments on it.
No, that is true.
And that's just because everybody's uncle works at Nintendo.
Yeah,
right.
Like you have one of the best quotes that I heard this week is that Microsoft is constantly doing reactive messaging instead of proactive messaging because their shit leaks constantly.
That's actually a good point. Man, I'm gonna say like maybe Starfield, and the only reason why I say maybe Starfield, you might say, well, because it didn't light the world on fire.
But is it going to
So
light the
what's
world
the
on
harm?
fire on PlayStation?
No,
No.
but then there's no harm in releasing it to PlayStation.
But there's no positive to releasing it either. There's more negative to releasing it than there is positive. Is what I'm as far as brand damage goes.
It's $70. It's $70 if they release it on PlayStation 5. It's Game Pass for a month if they release it on their own console.
Sure, but what kind of brand damage does that?
There is that, but I think there's a built-in benefit. It's by just saying like everything that we release is on Game Pass. Well, yeah, if we release it somewhere else, though, it's full price.
I understand that part of it, but also at the same time, that still does brand damage. Like, is it worth? Let's just say
so does being buddy with Jim Cat.
And I think that's going to change. I genuinely think after this week is going to change. But let's say Starfield goes to PlayStation and sells 1 million copies, 2 million copies. Okay, that's what $140 million. Is it worth it for the brand damage?
I don't know. I don't think Starfield has a brand. Like you're worried about
no. But Xbox has the brand of like. If you look at a game from 2023 that was Microsoft's pillar, what was it? It was supposed to be Starfield, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if a year later that is going to another console, when they specifically came out and said, that's the other thing is they came out and said this will never be on PlayStation. Oh, but now it's on PlayStation. Like,
I didn't realize they had said that'll never be on PlayStation.
Yeah, they said this is an Xbox and PC exclusive. It is never going anywhere else. That immediately makes you a liar, which we know they are, but admitting it and knowing it are two different things. Like, it's just, I don't see how they can win putting Starfield on PlayStation 5. They never said Hi-Fi Rush would not come to other they never said Sea of Thieves would never come to other, you know what I mean? It's just, it's a hard I would not want to be the person that has to write that speech. It's just impossible to make people. And the funny thing is like they have to do this to everybody. The shit that's going online this week is a very small portion of people who play on Xbox.
Yep. They think they're the vocal majority, but
No,
they're not.
they're 100% the vocal minority. They are the loudest
We are.
1% on the planet.
That's the other thing,
Mhm.
though. Like, we do a video game podcast, but like we're it's still we're in the minority of the minority, because
100%.
most people that play video games don't engage with it to where they're listening to podcasts. Like,
Sure, 100%. And we know that. That's the difference. Is like we can. I don't want to sound like I'm standing on a soapbox here, but like when you're not a slave to the trend, you don't have a reason to farm engagement.
Yeah.
So like I actually find people with smaller followings a little more trustworthy. Like you're not doing it to try to be something that you're not. You're just doing it because you actually enjoy it. So like when I see these, 100,000, 200,000 influencers doing their stuff, I always look at it with a side eye of like, yeah, sure. They probably sent you something, or you're trying to make money, or I don't know. It's a weird world of video game media. It's not like in the past where it was a small group of people that were doing this. It's now everybody is doing this. I don't know. This meeting is going to be weird because I don't know what they're going to say. I don't know why they waited to say a lot if it's not substantial.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I kind of feel like if if the precedent was set that exclusives on both consoles were only exclusive for, call it, 6 months to a year, and then they went everywhere, I kind of feel like it would end up being a positive for the industry.
It would be positive for consumers too, 100%.
Right. But I also recognize the fact that that requires some reciprocity that isn't necessarily there in this case. So I don't know. We'll see what they say. I personally have an Xbox, so I don't care to play Starfield on the PlayStation. But I'm sure there will be some folks who want to play it.
100%, and I got no problem with it.
And if it means that Elder Scrolls also comes to PlayStation after a year or whatever, that's a net positive, because you have some people who've only ever played Elder Scrolls on a PlayStation console. So, again, I'm all for. I understand the purpose of exclusives, but I'm all for everybody getting to play everything. And if the nature of what an exclusive is turns to timed, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing for the industry.
It's not a bad thing for the industry because we're all into this, and most of us have multiple, like, we're invested in multiple ecosystems. We have games in Nintendo, we have games in PlayStation and PC
Right.
and Xbox. Like, so it doesn't matter where the game goes, we will probably have access to it. There are a lot of people out there who they make this $500 purchase, they make it once.
Yep, 100%.
And they don't get to play this other stuff, which sucks. Like, put it everywhere. I'm okay with that, but I also understand the business side of it, and I've heard that argument so much this week. Like, I understand it's a business. Of course you understand it's a business. McDonald's don't sell Whoppers. Like, that's how this works.
not anymore. Whatever the fuck they're serving is awful.
Of course it's awful, but you get my point. Like, if you crave a Whopper, like
Whoppers, yeah, no, my brain totally heard like Whopper and thought Big Mac. Wow. Because I don't like their burgers.
Yeah, no.
Christ.
But the point stays the same. Is like you have something that draws you to that place that you want, and I understand that is how business works. But at the same time, like, Microsoft's not wrong. Is this another always online conversation where they were just ahead of the game and they're like, well, this shit's gonna happen, we might as well make it happen now, and it bit them in the ass? Like, if they're ahead of the game of saying, like, hey, you want to play Indiana Jones, get an Xbox. Unless you want to wait a year, then you can play it on PlayStation. And at the same time, think about the tales of video games. Like, if Starfield were to come out on PlayStation 5 next year, who gives a shit? Like, is it going to be in the conversation? Probably not.
Right.
There'll be like two news stories.
The people who wanted to play it but couldn't play it will get to play it, and nobody else will really care.
Exactly. The majority of people will not care because the conversation about Starfield has already happened. It's just like if Final Fantasy VII Remake somehow showed up on Xbox in the next 6 months, nobody's having a conversation about that. It's been 4 fucking years.
Right.
Nobody cares. Like it's cool. 500,000 people finally get to play it. But who cares? Like, it's just a weird thing.
Well, the people who get to play it care.
Sure, but
You
it's
know
a
what?
it's a small minority.
Right.
A perfect example, and this is happening. Final Fantasy 14 is about to come out. I mean, the beta starts in a couple weeks on Xbox, and I mean, there's nobody's talking about that. Like, I mean, it's just coming to Xbox. Like, if you want to play it, you've already played it. Only people super excited is those like us that wanted to wait for it to come to our main systems.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a
yeah.
small blip in a giant radar.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
it's not that big of a deal. Like, I mean, for God's sakes, if you put, I don't know, Killzone on the Xbox right now, there would be no conversation.
No.
It'd just be like, oh,
No.
well, that's weird. Okay.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. And I think Microsoft knows this. They're like, we get our people up front for Game Pass. So we satiate that because let's be honest, Game Pass is kind of hit its ceiling right now. Like, it's not growing. Like, they
Yeah.
got to make money somewhere else. So if you got Game Pass, you can play Indiana Jones in December. If you ain't got Game Pass, you got a PlayStation, you can play it in June. Okay. Xbox guys that are invested in the ecosystem, you get to play it early and you get to play it with your subscription. PlayStation guys, wait 6 months, pay $70. It's a win for the PlayStation
I feel like
guys.
that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's a win for the PlayStation guys. It's a win for Microsoft as a company. The only people that suffer are the people having these mental breakdowns.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't take away from your purchase if somebody on PlayStation gets to play an Xbox game a year after it comes out.
No. And if you're so dedicated to the platform, you're going to own it anyway. So,
Right.
like, why do you care how many they sell? As long as that's my thing. As long as they keep making hardware, and as long as my digital library doesn't go anywhere, I don't give a fuck how much they sell. That's why these numbers come out every month. I'm like, who cares? It's cool.
Me too.
Like, it's cool
Yeah.
to see how many consoles have sold. Like, Nintendo's killing it. Awesome. That's great. That means there's going to be another platform. That's awesome. Okay. Like, but beyond that, I'm like,
That's it.
like
Yeah.
I don't have a ticker tape. I don't have a medal to put around fucking Doug Bowser's neck or anything. Like,
Right.
who cares?
Maybe you should.
Yeah, I'm sure he don't give a fuck. I put like a medal around his neck. I don't know if you guys saw that video of when what's his nuts? The guy from Florida, DeSantis, like when he was doing his success, like when he was dropping out of the race, that guy gave him like a participation trophy.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I think of, is like seeing these fanboys run up to Phil and be like, Phil, you're number one Xbox guy. Let me put this medal on you. Phil's probably like, get the fuck away from me.
Right.
Let me play my Diablo, bitch. I don't know what. Oh, man. It's been a week. I'm excited to see what this is because... another thing I'm excited for is, like, if they put Hi-Fi Rush on Switch, Anthony can finally play it. That's the first thing I thought of. Like, Anthony can play Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited for that.
The first thing I thought of was if it sells well on Switch, that just increases the chances that we get a sequel.
Oh, hell yeah. And also,
Yep, and there's that.
nobody's asking the important questions. If you could put Hi-Fi Rush on Switch, why the fuck can't you put it on the Xbox One and let older people play it too?
That's true. Yeah,
It's gonna be streaming on Switch, I bet.
That could be a thing. Yeah, I guess that's true because it is already streaming on Xbox One, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not great. That's the other part of it is like, can we admit that cloud gaming is not great?
Cloud gaming. Well, the thing I called out when Stadia, and everybody's like, no, cloud gaming is the future. Mm-hmm.
Man, I don't know. It's like 3D
Future
TVs.
for what?
Who's all got a box of 3D
least the
glasses
3D
from your TV that don't?
At least the 3D TVs were, there was a use because that basically became VR.
For $3,500
Streaming
from Apple.
games. Yeah, listen, I'm not.
Oh yeah,
Oh Lord,
the Vision headsets.
I see people
There's already
walking
some
around
really
with those.
choice.
I'm just
videos
gonna if I
online
see
of that.
someone. If I see someone wearing that, I'm gonna just accuse them of watching porn in public.
I mean, dude, if I paid
I mean, how
$3,500
do you
for
defend
that,
yourself?
I mean, if I
The
paid
answer is
$3,500
nothing.
for that, I would not wear it out in public. I'd be terrified it was going to break.
Or get stolen.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, we lost
We
Terrence.
done-
I was like, what was
We
that
done
number?
we done talk so long that Terrence had to leave.
Yeah, he's like, these guys are talking about Xbox. All right,
Couldn't
let's
stand
do
us anymore.
the emails and tweets and get out of here. Jeremy sent us an email and said, hey guys, I find myself finally having a day off after about 20 days in a row. I hope everyone there is underworked and overpaid.
I wish that for everyone.
100%. I pre-ordered Mario vs. Donkey Kong the other day and downloaded the demo. Man, this game brings me back. I remember having it on Game Boy and being blown away by Mario being able to do backflips and handstands. Did any of you guys play the original or plan to get the new one? Also, all of this is just fluff until my most anticipated game of the year comes out, Dragon's Dogma 2. Anyways, I hope you guys had a great week. I'll catch you on the Twix.
Yeah, Dragon's Dogma is also my most anticipated game of the year. So,
is anybody pumped for Mario vs. Donkey Kong this week?
I'm probably going to go buy it.
I am not pumped for it.
I mean, we'll get a code on Friday, I'm sure, from Nintendo, but, like, I don't have reverence for the old one, so...
Well, the first one was a sequel to Donkey Kong 94 for Game Boy.
I mean...
Like, that's how it played, too. Like, that's the reason why, like, Mario could still do backflips and stuff, because that's what he could do in the Game Boy Donkey Kong game. And then... I don't know what happened, but they were like, but what if it was Lemmings and the rest of the Mario vs. Donkey Kong games just turned into about the little toys?
Huh. I mean, it looks, like, aesthetically, it looks cool. Like, I'd like to check it out.
So think the original Donkey Kong game, but then, like, add in, like, some puzzles with doors, like keys and doors and stuff. And having to time jumps from, like, because honestly, like the Game Boy game was almost based off of the Game & Watch game. Because at one point during the Game & Watch Donkey Kong, you have to jump and grab a crane hook and use that to swing across. And that's the type of stuff they were doing with Mario vs. Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong 94. It's neat. Like, if you like puzzles and you're willing to kind of try a slower Mario experience, because it's, again, more of a puzzle-based game, it's honestly really fun. But, like, playing the Game Boy game, man, they did all these really nice, like, renders for the cutscenes, but then, of course, you crush it and put it on a Game Boy Advance screen, and it looks like shit.
Sure.
So,
I don't know.
It was all these really nice... Anyways, the original game was really nice looking, but, like, when you go back to it now, it is not.
Well, I mean, some things just don't age gracefully, myself included.
Correct.
All right. Jeremy also sent us a tweet. He said, I didn't realize you have to shoot yourself in the head in Persona 3 as part of the gameplay. That kind of weirded me out. What's a gameplay mechanic or feature that made you cringe? Thanks for the show. Yeah, that Persona thing was always weird to me.
The sword in Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh. If you don't know, I'm sorry, but if you know,
that legitimately was like, I think I'm just done.
The sword in Tears of the Kingdom broke Anthony.
Yeah, no, it seriously bothered me to an extent that I'm still not sure why.
I don't know. I was trying to think if there's anything that, like, bothered me. Like, the cerebral bore always, like, creeped me out. Like that thing.
Sex and Baldur's Gate.
I have not played that, so sex in any game is weird.
Yeah, it depends. I like, it's funny in God of War. the first one. You know what I mean?
Just pressing
like,
triangle, you know.
Right, and then it's like it's over, and you're like, okay, great. It was kind of funny. It does a little bit of character building that he's a hedonistic piece of shit. Okay, moving on.
I know one.
And then
that
there's
makes, one that makes me uncomfortable is
picking up shit in Duke Nukem.
The floating boobs in Dead or Alive games.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's like a small gust of wind, and they're like.
Yeah.
Like, who thought that was okay?
Here's a really good fighting game. We're just gonna make it real creepy,
uncomfortable to play. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. DJ Mitsuhara says, "Hey guys, I'm on a night bus heading to Tokyo. I've been over 9,000. Busy on my latest project. Looking forward to hearing you guys go at it. Did you see the Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero announcement last week? Are you guys interested in it? Much love from Japan."
I'm not a Dragon Ball guy, so I don't even know what that is.
I bet Terrence knows what it is.
Yeah, and he's gone already.
He's gone already, unfortunately. I've never watched Dragon Ball in my life, so... I think Gamba showed me one episode once where like they were building up their power meter for like 2 episodes, and I was like, yeah, I don't... Has this ever happened?
Oh, it's a 3D battler. Okay, got it.
Oh, it's like the other... Okay, I got you.
Yeah, it's like Tenkaichi or
Tenkaichi, yeah. Dragon DBZ Tenkaichi, yeah. I got you.
So
I'm sure my son will end up playing it because he plays all of those like 3D arena battler games.
Your son is why they keep making those games. Like you always ask, like
100% he is.
Like why does Namco keep making those? There you go. The
yes.
Kids keep playing them. So
correct.
All right, last tweet. David says 3 things. First, your reaction to the rumors, which you obviously just went over. Xbox explaining this week and next week's podcast with what really ended up happening. I feel like there's usually more space between rumor and fact. You are correct, sir.
You are correct. Yep.
There's like whatever you think it is and whatever it actually is. Yeah. Who the fuck knows? Like, the people that are freaking out, that is not what is happening. The people who are like, oh, nothing's happening, that's not true either. Like, something's happening.
Something's happening, yeah.
But the extent of it, I don't know. I think it's just going to be like a fart in the wind, which is why they're not worried about it. But it's probably going to anger that vocal minority extremely.
Yes.
So. But anyway, it'll be a fun show to talk about next week. Before we get out of here, anybody want to make their pick? I mean, this show will go live after the Super Bowl, so...
Oh, for tonight?
Yeah, who you got?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think the Chiefs are going to win.
Yeah.
The Swifties.
I don't want them to, but I think they are.
Yeah,
Taylor Swift fans. The NFL's the real winner, guys.
I mean, that's fair. She's probably been on TV like 40 times already, and the game don't kick off for 4 hours.
They have. Yeah. I heard that they expect this to be the most watched Super Bowl of all time. So.
I do not doubt that in the least. But yeah, I'm with you. I think the Chiefs win because I don't want them to. That's why.
Yeah.
That's exactly why they're going to win.
Yep.
And I got to hear about Patrick Mahomes being the GOAT again, even though, you know, Brady still is the GOAT. Just saying.
Somebody has to figure out how they can make Frog be like the next GOAT, right? And then that way you can call Mahomes a frog.
Patrick McCormick.
There was. If you hung out with anyone that was in a church crowd about 20 years ago, they already tried to make Frog a thing. They had little frog bracelets that stood for fully rely on God.
Could have gone my entire life without knowing that.
Well, now you know, and knowing's half the battle.
You know what? As much as I hate the Chiefs, as much as I dislike Patrick Mahomes, I have to give that man some credit. He has remained positive under the light of the fact that his brother is a creep and his dad has like been arrested for drunk driving like multiple times, and like he can still go out there and be like, I'm in a good mood. Like,
yep.
Got to give him a little bit of credit for that because
yep.
Yeah, his family's kind of fucked up. Whew. All right. Well, I hope y'all enjoy your parties, or you have enjoyed your parties as you listen to this. I don't know when the Xbox thing is this week. I don't think anybody does. But with the rumor swirling of a Nintendo Direct also happening this week, probably after that, for certain reasons. Frog. That's going to be my tagline for the show, is just the acronym FROG.
Frog.
Okay, I've had enough. You want to send us an email. It's podcast@ztgd.com. Follow us on Twitter at ZTGD Radio. And check out Phoenix Down. Greedfall in progress now. They're working through that game. Otherwise, we're going to get out of here. Enjoy your Super Bowl Sunday. Enjoy your week. And as always, don't, oh my God, stop posting pictures of Frog.
Ribbit.
Don't get worked up over plastic boxes. Phil Spencer does
Correct.
not love you.
Or plastic bracelets.
100% don't get worked up over. Although if that was like an Xbox, it's green, so maybe I don't know. There's something there. Anyway, that's it for us. Nobody has anything else. We'll get out of here. Peace.
Alrighty. And it goes something like this.